Go ahead.
Well, it's not really equal in the fact that men could have premarital sex and maybe knock somebody up, but they wouldn't get fired for it.
I love the eloquence. Yeah, actually, when you think about it, a woman is going to show. A man is not going to show. As long as he keeps his mouth shut, nobody could find out. So the woman, indeed, could be fired. The man could do the exact same thing and have the exact same circumstance, keep his job. It seems like that's a violation of equality. Go ahead, Catherine.
Safety and security in terms of her not being able to provide for her family. She loses the ability, the security of being able to provide for her child.
You could argue that. I don't know that we talked about that, so maybe be careful, especially since we're filming with that. But there's another order that you could use. Go ahead.
I was going to say it impinges on her freedom.
Yeah, it does.
To act in a way that she deems appropriate, that's legal under the law. But the order side of that same thing is the contract that she signed. She was in direct violation of that, which, you know, kind of cancels out.
And the Catholic Church, depending upon how you want to put it, could be under freedom or order, because they have the freedom to be able to practice their religion, which means they should have the right to fire her. Or you could say under order, she signed this contract to uphold their teachings, so they've got the right to fire her that way too, depending upon how you want to look at it. So this is an example where all three of those kind of intertwine. So you got the Catholic school article. I'm going to bump the eggs. I'm going to not use the eggs article. I'm sorry. I'm going to bump that article, so don't worry about that one. That one gets a little bit contorted. If I put your names in a question where somebody's donating eggs and whatnot, probably not a good thing. Alienation of affection. What do you remember about that? So go ahead, Emily, because that's one we absolutely talked about.
That's when they had the law in like in North Carolina saying if someone go to that state and have an affair with someone with that state and he can get sued for that, something like that.
Okay, something like that. There's something about some kind of affair. Go ahead, Jack.
If you have an affair with someone outside of marriage, you can sue as the victim. If your husband goes off, you can sue who he cheated with.
Okay.
Isn't it South Carolina in the article?
And you can do that.
Oh, you know what? It's always bad news to mistake North Carolina and South Carolina. I'm sorry, John. It really is. It is North Carolina in the article. Okay. This was a North Carolina law, and I believe it was present. It was like 7 other states. And basically, to your point, exactly what it said. Number 1, if you are married and your spouse goes and cheats, then you, under alienation of affection, can sue the person that your spouse cheated with. Okay, what's the logic behind this? Marriage is a what?
Contract.
And what's being lost?
Contract.
It's being broken.
They're basically, the person that is cheating with your spouse is stealing his or her affections from you, so they're breaking the contract. So the sense is that you should be able to sue in order to get money back for the affection that was taken away, the failure to basically honor the contract. Do you remember any of the dollar amounts?
One of those $2
One of them was over $2 million. Typically, they're not. Are they actually collecting damages in these cases, or are they doing something else? Go ahead.
Sometimes they're collecting damages, but at other times they're threatening with the lawsuits.
Yeah.
So that they can use it as leverage against their spouse or soon-to-be ex-spouse to get a better settlement.
Most of the time, what they're doing in these cases is basically they're blackmailing the cheating spouse. And the sense is that, okay, I'm going to sue your Jezebel over there if you don't grant me custody and the house and the dog and things like this. And then typically, because they cheated and they want to go in that new direction, they don't want their Jezebel to get sued. So basically, they're going to give whatever wishes that that person wants. It's a way to really win in court. Go ahead.
Isn't blackmail illegal, though?
Well, they don't call it blackmail. They call it defending the institution of marriage, which is a very moral type of a contract. That's really the logic behind it.
Defending institute of marriage?
Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, this is a real moral thing. And they don't repeal these laws because, indeed, they don't want, when you think about it, they don't want to look like to be somebody, basically, that is not in favor of the sanctity of marriage. That's why these are still on the books. Remember, too, okay, if Cece decides to cheat with a married man.
Have him cross state lines.
Okay, now that is true. All right. When would Cece be affected by alienation of affection, and when wouldn't she be affected by it?
If I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, so if you're in North Carolina and you do the deed there, then indeed you're covered by alienation of affection. You can be sued. What other times? Go ahead.
When the person's from the area.
If a person from North Carolina comes up to Maryland or in any other place, North Carolina law would cover them as North Carolina citizens, North Carolina residents. So you got to be careful. Okay, anything else you want to add on this?
Or the other 7 states.
Or in those other 7 states. If Cece just has an affair with a married man in Maryland, it's okay because you don't have alienation of affection here. It's okay. In court, not legally or morally, but as far as damage-wise, it's okay. All right, so